ready for the study for Will Clayton Church of Christ in Humble, Texas. This is February the 26th, 2020. And this is our midweek Wednesday night Bible study entitled Elijah and Elisha, a team that stuck together. Elijah and Elisha, a team that stuck together. And we'll be using 2 Kings chapters 1 and 2. And once again, we pick back up. Took a few Wednesdays off from our series, The Kings of Israel and Judah. And now we're going to pick back up on it again. Once again, 2 Kings chapter number 1 and 2. And we will begin. The Moab rebelled against Israel after the death of Ahab. And as we remember, Ahab getting into a battle with the Syrians, lost that battle, lost his life, being disrespectful to God. And so Moab sees, okay, let's get them. And this is how people do when they see you've lost one battle. They come at you from another angle, a whole other group. Verse 2 says, and Ahaziah fell down through a lattice in his upper chamber that was in Samaria, and was sick. And he sent messengers, and said unto them, go inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron, whether I shall recover of this disease. So I want to show you, you got a lot of stuff going on, and it's important that we point out. It's the purpose of this lesson. A lot of stuff happening in the life of the Israelites, specifically the 10 tribes that have gone astray. And you have now the great prophet Elijah and Elisha, his understudy, is going to take over for him. They are dealing with these guys, trying to keep them in line. God has always reached for his people, regardless how wicked they had become, because he loved them. He was trying to rescue them. But you have to understand this thought of Ekron. And Ekron, this particular place, is a place that worships a false god. And this is where you see also Jesus being accused of working with Beelzebub. Here he is here now, back in ancient time, the god of Ekron. And so instead of him calling on the God of heaven, he calls on the god of Ekron. And notice he's being also attacked by Moab, another group. And so you got a lot of stuff going on. So he's very sick. And he falls down through the lattice, a net, which is a rectangle ornament to a pillar. And it's like a net that holds you up. He falls through. This guy's in bad shape. He's very ill. Falls through, body's lame and limp. And so he wants to know, man, am I going to die? But he doesn't talk to God. Verse 3. The angel of the Lord said to Elijah the Tishbite, arise, go up to meet the messengers of the king of Samaria, and say unto them, is it not because there is not a God in Israel that you go to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? So Sam, it's like it's no more God in Israel. Is that why you doing it? Did he vacate or something? And verse 4, now therefore, thus saith the Lord, thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone up, but shalt surely die. And Elijah departed. Now listen to what the statement says. He says, because you went to the god Beelzebub to talk instead of the Most High, you're going to die. Sometimes people don't realize, that's something we got to understand, saints. It's something we got to understand. God is still in the business of giving life and killing people. When you are ill, you start turning your back on God, or whether you're healthy, you turn your back on God. God doesn't have a problem with removing you. It's just, here's a problem with life. You listen to people who are not of God that try to tell you about God. So that's the image you have of God. Then you listen at weak saints, they try to tell you about God. And you get that image of God. You got a bunch of images in your mind instead of the image of a righteous and strong saint that stands with God. Elijah and Elisha are a team that cannot be separated. And the thing we have to understand is that they have a good relationship working together. And you're going to see how he's going to be able to pass this spiritual torch on to Elisha. But one of the things you have to understand is people don't always work together like that. They don't. But Elijah's a guy you can work with. Although he ran into some struggles, he had his own personal struggles, he had his fears of Jezebel, we understand all these different things. But the key is that you can work with him and serve with him because he acknowledges error and adjusts along the route. And so the idea is that some people can't work together because they expect a person to be Jesus instead of being like Jesus. And that's the problem. And so therefore, verse number 5, and when the messengers turned back unto him, he said unto them, why are ye now turned back? And they said unto him, there came a man up to meet us. So the messengers came back to Ozan. But you know, this is Ahab's boy. And so the idea is that this particular guy has taken over now for his father Ahab, which was a crook, and he too is a crook. And so the idea, but they're all saints. These are saints. So you got to understand something. These are saints here. You know, that's the way it is. You have to accept what the lot that Israel has dealt to them at this point. But these are the 10 tribes that are together. Very large group, but with a weak leader. And so what happens is, when they come back, they say, why'd you come back? And they said unto him, there came a man up to meet us and said, go unto us. Go turn, again unto the king that sent you. And said unto him, thus saith the Lord, is it not because there is not a God in Israel that thou sendest to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of Ekron? Therefore thou shalt not come down from that bed on which thou art gone upon, but shalt surely die. And so, now watch this guy. Ahaziah knows the righteous. So he's going to ask what he looked like. Verse 7. Said, what manner of man was he which came up to meet you and told you these words? And they answered him, he was an hairy man, and girt with a girdle of leather about his loins. And he said, it is Elijah the Tishbite. So he knows not, it's on in my life. It's on in my life. It's real. This is the man of God. Isn't it amazing he knows he's the man of God, but wouldn't go and talk to him about his health issue? And see, this is the problem with us, brethren. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. You got to stay balanced, because it'll make you lead a church. It'll make you quit talking to God at all, because there is so much confusion religiously. You have no choice at the end of the day but going, well, I'm just going to try to do good and love everybody. If you're not balanced. Don't think you're too strong to knock. The devil will knock you out at his desire if the Lord doesn't protect you. You have done nothing to make heaven go, ooh, ah. There's nobody like that. There's nobody in this book like that but Jesus Christ. And so you have to understand, you need to come to study. You need to worship, and so do I. You need to study on your own too. You need to pray. You need to live, because I'm telling you, at his will, he will knock your teeth down your throat. And no man, nor being of heaven, will help you, including God, the Father, the Son, or the Spirit. And so what happens is this guy knows who Elijah is, verse 9. Then the king sent unto him a captain of 50 with his 50. Now, so he wants to go and inquire more. And he went up to him. Now, so look, you see, he gets a captain of 50 with his 50. So he gets a guy that can handle 50 people good. This is his army. And the 50 people go. And he went up to him. And behold, he sat on the top of a hill. Now, see, Elijah knows, I've sent bad word. They're coming to get me. They are coming to get me for sending bad word. They'll come to get you. When you send a message out, when people ask you questions about their life, their spiritual sickness, see, they have a spiritual sickness, this is a physical, they have a spiritual sickness. And you say, you know, because you turn your back on the Lord, that spiritual sickness you got, it's not going away until you turn your back away from Satan and turn to the Lord. He's not going to do that. So they'll come to get you with their tongue, talking about you. But in this case, remember, the Old Testament has a shadow. The Old Testament shows both the physical with spiritual application. It also shows the spiritual with spiritual application. So you have to know where to put each thing. This is a physical showing of getting attacked because of a spiritual answer. But he has dealt with spiritual issues, and he's showing I have spiritual issues now. That's not a metaphor. It's real. And that is, I've been told by God, you're going to die. And so we have to understand everything in the Old Testament is not a metaphor. Some of the things are real. So in the Old Testament, we have to recognize they dealt with spiritual issues too. But many of the physical applications we must apply to our life today. So he says, he went up, sat on top of a hill, and he spake unto him, thou man of God, the king had said, come down. See, what happens now is Ahaziah, he wants a interaction now with Elijah. We don't know why. It may have been to plead for mercy. It may, whatever it is, he does not send a message. Not seek mercy. From what we gather, he's trying to see, is this really going to go down like you said? So he sent somebody. Elijah answered and said to the captain of 50, if I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thou 50. Wow, what a reply. And that came down fire from heaven and consumed me and 50. See, so he said, you coming to get me. So if I go with you, you trying to come and you want to try to handle me. So I'm not going with you though. What I said is what I said. That's where it's going to be. You can attack me. You can do whatever you want. I'm not going with you. And if I'm a man of God, let fire come down and chew you up. And it does. Look at that. Again, so he said unto him, another captain of 50 with his 50. And he answered and said to him, O man of God, thus said the king, come down quickly. And Elijah answered and said unto them. See now, they got 50 men. That means if you don't come down, they're going to come up and handle you. That's why he burns them. He didn't burn them just because they asked a question. He burns them because they're coming to get him. They're going to handle him. You told the king he's going to die, man. We finna handle you now. We coming to get you. And see, what is the thing? You got to say something positive. You got to lie, do something, or bring you before the king, or we'll kill you while you stand, whatever the case may be. Elijah is afraid of them. Watch, you're going to see. So he says, okay, you come to get me. If I'm a man of God, let fire come down because you're an enemy. So what does happen? Second time, he says, if I be a man of God, let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And the fire, look at this, verse 12, came down from heaven and consumed him and the 50. And he said again, a captain of the third 50 and his 50. And the third captain of 50 went up and came and watched the difference. Fell on his knees before Elijah. Look at the difference. And besought him and said unto him, O man of God, see now this guy is with Israel, but this is one of the guys that loves and knows God. He knows this is a real man of God. And if I ask him to have mercy on me and let him know I'm not going to hurt you, just can you please come with me? This is what he's doing. Watch what happens. He says, unto him, O man of God, I pray thee, let my life and the life of these 50 thy servants, look at the response, be precious in thy sight. Behold, there came fire down from heaven and burned up the two captains of the former 50s with their 50s. Therefore, let my life now be precious in thy sight. Now look what happens. And the angel of the Lord said unto Elijah, go down with him. Be not afraid of him. See, the angel, okay, now this one, you can trust him. He works for Ahab. He's different. He's with us. You can go down. He's not going to hurt you. He's not going to bother you. He says, he arose and went down with him unto the king. And he said unto him, thus saith the Lord, for as much as thou hast sent messengers to inquire of Beelzebub, the god of background. So he goes to talk to the king. It is not because there is no God in Israel. He said, is it not because there's no God? Is that why he did it? We did the God of heaven leave to inquire of his word. Therefore, see, because of this, thou shalt not come down off that bed on which thou art gone, but shalt surely die. If he had went asked God to Elijah, can you ask God on my behalf if I live? The statement says you're going to die because you didn't. We got to stop. We got to deal with this a minute. Brethren, if you don't go to God, do you want to die? You gotta ask that. Do you want to die? What is physical or spiritual? Are you desirous that you lose in life? Are you ready to check out? Are you ready to perish? Are you ready to be distraught? Because this can happen to any of us. Especially when you live in raggedy lives like this guy living like his dad lived. If he'd asked God, he says, because you went to the God of Ekron, you're going to die. So the Ekron God can't answer, but I'm going to answer you from the real God. You didn't ask him, but he told me to tell you you're going to die. So verse 17, so he died according to the word of the Lord, which Elijah had spoken. And Jehoram reigned in his stead. In the second year of Jehoram, the son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, because he had no son. Now listen at this. Listen at this. And Jehoram reigned in his stead in the second year of Jehoram, son of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah. You have two guys who are both called Jehoram. One is Jehoshaphat's boy. He's ruling in Judah because those are the two tribes faithful. And now this guy who is not his son, Jehoram, he takes over for Ahaziah because Ahaziah has no son. See, so the idea is because he had, see, so this is the whole idea. He reigns because of that. So now the rest of the acts of Ahaziah, which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Now, chapter 2. And it came to pass, when the Lord would take up Elijah to heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. And Elijah said unto Elisha, wait here, I pray thee, for the Lord hath sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So he went down to Bethel. So see, at this point, Elijah goes down from where he was at to Gilgal. Elisha's there, and he tells him, hey man, wait here, I'm going to Bethel. Lord want me to go there. Okay. But Elisha said, no, I'm going to stick with you, man. They're stuck together. He sticks with him. He doesn't leave. They work together. And the sons of the prophets that were at Bethel came forth to Elisha. So the sons of the prophet, when they saw them coming, they said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he said, yea, I know it. Hold ye your peace. So they came and said, hey man, don't you know that today your master going to die? See, these are sons of the prophet. They're all getting information from God. God is telling them, okay, I'm taking Elijah's day. And so they're going to say, man, you understand, your master going. He said, yeah, I know. He said, just, hold your peace, don't worry about it. So it's like a calm. Why is there a calm step? Why is everybody not getting it? Say, man, hey, he going to leave there. What we going to do? Is like, I know he going to leave. We got it. He's telling, we got it. And the thing you have to understand, brethren, you're going to die unless the Lord returns. So you have to make sure that you have taught others to carry on the work. Not as your underlings, but as other saints. You have to make sure they talk. Because you don't know who's going to outlive who. You don't know when you're going to die. But the idea is, Elijah, okay, I'm leaving today. I'm definitely checking out today. And the prophets know. Elisha know, but he said, okay, just relax, Everybody stand down. It's okay. And the sons of the prophets, he says, they understand that. So verse 4, and Elijah said unto him, to Elisha, tarry here, I pray thee, for the Lord had sent me to Jericho. And he said, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. So they came to Jericho. And the sons of the prophets that were at Jericho came to Elisha and said unto him, knowest thou that the Lord will take away thy master from thy head today? And he answered, yea, I know it. Hold thee your peace. There's another city. They go to another city with some prophets, And he said, yeah, I know, y'all, relax. We got it. We got it. It's going to be all right. He's leaving today. But what? God is still on the throne. Elijah is powerful, man. Elijah has kept things together. He's in the roughest part of Israel, the 10 tribes. The spiritual hood, so to speak. Trouble, killings, robbings, lying, false God, fake churches, all through the land. And so the idea is that they've been working hard together. But Elisha knows, we got it. We going to be okay. Don't worry about it. Hold your peace. It's going to be all right. So Elisha said unto him, now, I pray thee, tarry here. Instead of stay at Jericho. For the Lord hath sent me to Jordan. He said, as the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And they two went on. Now at this point you have to stop and recognize what is the emphasis here. You know, we see the Apostle Paul that he talks about a guy named Demas. And Demas bails on him. And he writes, Demas is involved with many great works with Paul. But 2 Timothy 4:10 says, for Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world. Now, that's never a good thing. Because we see that the Bible tells us, somebody may think, well, he just stayed there because he's like, no, this is something wrong. Because he loved this present world. That phrase is never ever gonna be good. Look at 1 John 2:15. Just hold your hand on 2 Kings. We'll be back over there in a minute. 1 John 2:15. Love not the world. Now then he just say he loved this present world. That means this is a bad thing for Demas. Neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. That's it. That's our brother Demas. That's what happened to him. And so the idea, let's go back to 2 Kings chapter 2. Because we see this guy, Elisha, although he tells him, just stay here because I got to go on to Jericho. He tells Elijah, you know, as the Lord lives, man, there's nothing going to separate from me. Why? From you, because this is your last day. We're gonna walk together till the day you walk out of here. Till the time, the minute you walk out. Because I'm going to keep working with you. Stick with you like glue. Verse 7. 2 Kings chapter 2:7. And 50 men of the sons of the prophets went and stood to view afar off. And they stood by Jordan. And Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together. So he got the mantle, takes it off. He swings the two pieces, the two ends together. And smote the water. Now remember, you gotta remember how big Jordan is. See, Jordan is a river, but Jordan is huge. Extremely deep. And the thing is that when it has been parted before, it's a miracle because it's not no little small thing you walk in wading in water knee high. It's a major, to this day, the same Jordan, it's the same one, a major body of water. So he just takes his mantle off and pops the top of the water, and they were divided hither and there, so the water split. And they too went over on dry ground. Now this just to separate, and it's kind of slushy, bone dry, a miracle. And they walked across. It came to pass when they were gone over that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I should do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so. So now he's been told, just you got to watch me. When I get taken up, you got to watch me. Now he didn't tell him how he's going. They just said you got to watch me. And it came to pass as they went on and they keep walking and talk. See, now they talking about some other stuff. We don't know what. They talking about some stuff. We don't know. But this guy, these guys are close in God. They have worked there. They've seen trauma and tragedies and stuff go on. People die and people get destroyed for their house. They're like, and we talk, I'm leaving you today, man. Say what you can because it's not going to be no more conversation sitting at no graveside. You got to talk now because I'm living. And that's the mentality you and I have to have. I'll tell people what they need to know now while you're on earth. You're going to leave one day, brother. Like you see me standing there talking. I have seen many men and women standing talking. And shook their hands and hugged them up. And they are gone now. They cannot be found on the earth, man. They are gone. I'm telling you, yo, people like, yeah, but man, that means they're gone. There's no more talking. You think about some of the stuff they say, try to remember, they're gone. So they're having a conversation. It's critical. And so, behold, they appeared a chariot of fire. So a chariot of fire. Now, because see, it's got to take him somewhere. Not a chariot, a man, a fire. So you see a chariot of fire. It's on fire. You look at, my goodness, what a sight to see. Now remember, you got to keep watching though. You see a chariot of fire just roll up. You're like, that blows your mind. You know, you froze up, but you got to watch him. And horses of fire. Look how the horse says more than one of fire. They are on fire. And parted them both sons. So it appears, and it just takes him off. And he looks at him, now they separated. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind, and then a whirlwind comes. And this guy is going up, and he's watching horses on fire, chariot on fire. His teacher in it, going up, and then a tornado comes. But he's been told what? You got to watch me. He can't go, man, look at the tornado. You didn't watch him. You don't get your double portion. What are you saying, Ozan? Brethren, you have to keep your mind on Jesus. Watch where Jesus is going. Jesus gave Elijah the words that he spoke. You hear the word, but you have to watch. You see, we watching Jesus now. You have to keep your eyes focused on what Christ said. It doesn't matter what I say, you say, and nobody else you know. And if you do that, you walk straight into paradise, straight into heaven after that. It's not a mystery. It's not some great thing you do. I hear what you're saying, man, but I'm looking right here at Jesus. He didn't say that. You have people teaching that Christ came back and resurrected the dead. We have many arguments that say he didn't, and they're valid. Why are we still here? Why are babies being born? Why is death still here? But the thing is, Jesus never said, I'm coming back and raising the dead until the final day. See, that's the problem. If you just read that, you don't need any of those. You stop the conversation now, and the guy keeps on talking. But he said the last day. Since we still here on the earth, this is not the last day. But that's the last day of Jerusalem. He said the last day, man. Since we still here, he ain't come back yet. Have a good day, and you walk off. No matter if he knows saint, you don't owe him anything other than the answer. Do you know that the people that God's Son talked to, he made each one of them, and he loved each one of them, the Gentile and the Jew. And when Jesus was through talking to you, he walked off. He was done. When he told Martha and Mary, your brother's going to live again, he said, roll back the stone. He stink. Didn't I tell you want to see the glory of the Lord? Okay, so now, it's got to get stinky in here because it's dead. If you want to see him rise up, we can't hide the stench because he's dead. It validates he is dead and rotting. Yeah, roll the stone back. Jesus don't keep on dealing with us, brethren. Jesus kept his focus on his Father. We need to keep our focus on Christ. This man's going to keep watching Elijah till he goes up and he's going to get a double portion. Watch what's going to happen. And so therefore, all this stuff is going on, man. This is phenomenal stuff. Chariots on fire, horses on fire, tornado kicks up from right there in the midst. And so what happens is, and Elisha saw it. And he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel, and horsemen thereof. So see, he said, what's with him? Man, he loves this dude, man. This dude is like a daddy to him. He loves this guy, man. They have walked together. You got guys that, hey, man, you know. It's like saying, man, your daddy gonna die. Yeah, I know. We're gonna be all right, though. God gonna still be with us. Just hold your peace. It's gonna be okay. Don't get excited. But when he sees him, he finally takes off, it's like goodbye. Man, this is it. Now we're going to see him again, man. I was looking here. Oh, man. Elijah, the chariots, the horses. My goodness, what a vision. And that's how he receives it. And so what happens is, he saw him no more, and he took hold of his clothes and ripped them in two pieces. It's just a sign of sorrow and being distraught. Just rip my clothes. Man, what did that mean when they would rip the clothes? It means I'm torn. My heart is ripped. So I ripped my clothes. My heart is ripped, man. You would see this done when people did crazy stuff or something phenomenal, or deep sorrow. Oh no, Israel ripped. My heart. It's just a thing. Sometimes people put their hands on their head. They rip their shirt. Okay, that's what it deals with. So he says, he took up also the mantle of Elijah that fell from him. So remember, Elijah goes up, but the mantle falls, and went back and stood by the bank of Jordan. Now remember, he goes back by Jordan. Guess what has happened? The water has came back over. Now he got to get on the other side of Jordan. No, you can't swim. So what is he going to do? And he took the mantle of Elijah that fell from him and smote the water just like Elijah did and said, "Where's the Lord God of Elijah?" And when he also had smitten the waters, they parted hither and thither. And Elijah went on there. The Lord, the Lord let him know, I'm right here. He hits the water with the mantle power. Where's the Lord God? Okay, I asked for the water. And water split, the Lord let you know, I'm with you. Just like I was with him. He split the water, you fixing to walk on dry land too. See, remember, that's what he told the other prophets. Each city he went to is to hold on. We're going to be okay. Hold your peace. So, verse 15. And when the sons of the prophets, which were to view at Jericho, saw, they said, "The spirit of Elijah doth rest on Elisha." And they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground before him. Now this bowing, is this a worshiping of him as a God? No. See, this is the thing people don't understand. People bow to people. Many times they bowed to David. When they came in David's bed, the prophet Nathan and his wife Bathsheba bowed them. It is a display of honor. That okay, as we worked with Elijah, we're going to work with you. This is not that. Now when John does this to the angel, he does it in a manner where the angel is informed, okay, you got to tell him get up. Because he's looking at you in the wrong light. He's got to look at you in a different way. He says, now rise up, I'm a fellow, I'm working with you just like the other the men you know. I'm a fellow servant of God. You know, don't do that. When Cornelius bowed to Peter, Peter is informed and reminded, tell him get up. I'm a man like you. But he doesn't say it to them because this isn't the same mentality. See, this is the thing where people have to understand. You can't tell God what to do. You can't tell God when to talk. Don't guess at nothing. He will tell you exactly what's going on. He does not need any help from us. Who made us? God, and we didn't exist, and he brought us into existence. Even if it came out your mama's stomach, it is God that made it. The psalmist said, and now we ourselves. So mama didn't make us. Verse 16. And they said unto him, behold, now that be thy 50 strong men with thy servant. Let them go, we pray thee, and seek thy master. Let peradventure the Spirit of the Lord had taken him up and cast him upon some mountain or to some valley. And he said, ye shall not sin. So see, they say, okay, they saw him go up, They're like, well, okay, they know he went up. They're like, okay, hold on. See, because they was over there watching. It's like, well, they figure, they figure the tornado spent him and flipped him. God took the spirit out of the body and let the body fall. So they're like, man, it's a holy God. We're going to go bury him right. We're going to go find the body. He might be on some mountain or something. Now, they're looking at the tornado. Now, they know stuff don't get flung into oblivion. So they know he's in the general vicinity. If you had something picked up by a tornado, if you search, you will find it. Because it only goes so far. It doesn't go out to the outer space. So he tells them don't do it. Because he knows the body is not going to be found. It hasn't been flung. It's been taken up. So he knows that. Verse 17, and when they had urged him till he was ashamed. Yes, sometimes people keep talking about, please, man, let me go. Please, come on, man, let me go. Please. And it begins to be embarrassed. You go like, okay, go. Go ahead, man, go. And this is what he does. It says, sent them, and they sought 3 days. Now look, y'all. Tornadoes don't sling stuff farther than 3 days journey. 3 days journey, that's a long time, man. You're supposed to be a dude body, it should easily be found. But found not. And when they came again to him, for he tarried at Jericho, he said unto them, did not I say unto you, go not? See, I told you, he said, come back, we didn't find. No, you didn't find him. I told you don't go. You do not but bring most sorrow in your heart. Sometimes you can tell a person, don't go there. Don't go looking for that. And they go anywhere and they come back. I didn't find it. You know what you need to tell? Didn't I tell you don't go? So the next time, tell them don't go. Because the next time they go looking for something you told them to go look for, it might take them out. It could cause them to not come back. So we have to understand that. And when the men in the city said unto Elisha, behold, I pray thee, The situation of the city is pleasant, as my Lord said. But the water is not, and the ground barren. So they're in Jericho, and they tell me, though, it's a nice city, man, but the water is undrinkable, and the land can't grow no food. This land has been cursed. See, I remember what's been happening. This land has been cursed. And he said, bring me a new cruse, which is a vessel for putting beverages in, food, and put salt therein. And they besought him. What y'all think would have happened if he'd have put sugar in it? This is what's wrong with man. Boy, you tell us, rascal, you tell us what to do, and we do something else. It's white like salt. Put sugar, then we'll have none. If you didn't have it, go tell him, we can find no salt, my Lord. And he maybe have another thing to tell you. Don't just go do something else. It's not going to work. It's such a simple life, brethren. Oh, God help us. It's such a simple life. Just tell the person, baby, don't do that. You're going to go to hell doing that. Don't do that. It's a simple life. But we complicate it, thinking, well, maybe it'll work for me. No. So they did what he said, verse 21. And he went forth into the spring of the waters. Now remember, they're poison. You drink it, you die. Or get extremely sick. But there's one thing, you can't drink this water. And cast the salt in there and said, thus said the Lord, I have healed these waters. There shall not be from thence any more death or barren land. So now we found out, now you got sick, you eventually died, and the land couldn't grow nothing. So it says, I'm going to heal the waters, and the land going to be healed. So the waters were healed unto this day. Did y'all see that? That means that for a long time, you could not drink that beautiful natural spring water. Come on. Let me tell you something about water. I talked to some guys before, in my line of work. And they would tell me, man, people don't understand, when you're drilling for water. They say, we're in the water. We search and test water. I said, yeah. He said, a lot of people don't understand, man, when you start drilling in water, he said, they think the deeper you go, the fresher it is. He said, He said, the surface water is all right. He said, you go deeper, it's strychnine, it'll kill you. I said, what? He said, yeah, the deeper you go. He said, certain areas is poison. He said, that's why we got to test water. Because, you think, well, the top of the land is poison. Go deep, man, you'll kill yourself. This is natural spring water. But it's been poisoned. The Lord has cursed it. I don't think people understand. If God wants you to die, he could kill a whole nation off. Just dry your water up. And then you be arguing with people about bringing water. You can't afford it. By the time they get there, people start dying. Water, then you get no wall. Who's going to keep the wall for you? Know what? He can just kill you off. America, anywhere. Don't ever think we living because God can't stop it. If he wants to, he can stop it. And we have to be thankful. Tell people whether to go to church or not. Make sure you thank God. That'll at least extend their life. Maybe he won't kill them. And so the idea is, he says, so the waters are to this day, according to the saying of Elisha, which he spake. And he went forth from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city. Now he comes back to Bethel and mocked them and said to them, go up thou bald head. Go up thou bald head. See, now you would think, why is this story in here? This is why we study this. It's bad when people don't study this and you try to present it to the church because their life is so full of foolishness. You're like, man, we talked about all kind of stuff and study. Where were you at? What were you doing? And you think we're going to leap up and pray and miracles going to flow out of heaven? Who lied to you? And that's what's wrong with us. That's one thing. If there's anything I did right in life, I went to Bible study and worship. I can attribute none other than consistent Bible study and worship because I knew I don't know nothing. And I want to sit down and listen to people teach me so I can go to heaven and avoid hell. And you should do the same. This is wrong with people. We just hate to come to study. Oh, you can study at home. They do just enough to go to hell. Just enough sometimes to go to hell. And just too little to go to hell. That's amazing. And so therefore he says, they mocking him. So what does that show? Disrespectful children are sometimes killed by God because they're disrespectful. Nothing to do with nothing about, yeah, they got a disease. You got to die of something. Yeah, they died in a crash of a moving balloon thing that they were having fun on fly today. Yeah, talking about, and they died. You don't know if the Lord didn't want them dead. The worst thing you can do is try to put them in heaven. I know they're in heaven with the Lord, teaching the angels how to fly balloons. Okay, keep on here. Keep on talking. And see, that's what's wrong with us. We forget there's a God, and sometimes God will look at you and say, okay, you're a bad child. I'm going to kill you now. I'm going to save a lot of people heartache, and you are being a nuisance to me. He just wipes you out. And it comes from the request of the prophet that can bring life through his instruction. But this instruction brings death. And he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. What does that mean? By saying G-O-D or L-O-R-D or Jehovah? No. By the authority of God, die. That's it. Who would do this to children? A righteous person trying to save the rest of us heartache from a bunch of little devils like this. This is what I see. Now, I just want to know these weak, lame-hearted people that will rise up today trying to challenge God on children dying. You don't know what you're talking about. Keep your mouth closed, that there may be hope for you someday at the judgment. Because you don't run nothing but the two lips that you got given by God. And that thing coming out your mouth is going to even judge you. He's serious about what he does. When he curses them, there came forth, they didn't just drop dead. The multiple ways God has of ruining us. They could have just all dropped dead. But he sends 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 40 and 2 children of them. You see that? So, those 2, they out there going bald head, and here comes 2 bears. You know, how people have reported that? 42 precious souls of God were attacked by 2 vicious bears from hell, but he wanted them dead. Y'all see this? How would this have been reported on Channel 13? Isn't that amazing? Let that simmer and think about it. And he went forth from thence to Mount Carmel. From thence he returned to Samaria. That's the lesson. It's yours now. Let us remember something. Just make sure you walk right. So when death comes on you, you ready? Don't worry about saying where nobody else went. All you got to do is walk right. And when death comes for you, you should be ready. You can mess yourself up by trying to say where people have gone. Teach people the right route, and that's it. Somebody asks you something, you have no authority to judge anybody. Paul said, judge number 4 time. Well, do you trying to tell me, Grandma, what the hell? I have no authority to judge nobody, but I do know one thing. Anybody that's not in the Lord's kingdom is going to die lost. I'm going to tell you to say, and don't ask me nothing else about Grandma. If it's a person older than you, respected parent, you say, I am not the judge of heaven and earth, but I do know this, father or mother. Any man walking contrary to the teaching of Christ shall die lost. And I will not be able to answer that, even though you should beat me, because God has told me to judge nothing before the time. I'm done. That's how you good, respectful answer. Ready for thrashing and punishment. At the same time, whatever the Lord say. Paul said, you ain't got to judge nothing before the time. Now, evil people who walk contrary, teaching false doctrine, they're going to die lost. You trying to tell me Grandma? I don't know nothing about Grandma because I'm not God. But I do know this. Anybody walk contrary to God, don't die lost. You can't help but make it to heaven if you do it right, brethren. Can't help but make it to heaven. Jesus told us, he that believes and baptized shall be saved. He that believes not shall be damned. Mark 16:16. In Acts chapter 2, after having heard the gospel, Romans 10:17, faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of God, they were informed of the truth. Jesus, Lord and Christ. Verse 37 of Acts chapter 2, the question comes from the saved of God, who are no longer the saved of God, but now are hearing a new message to become the saved of God. They ask, man and brother, what shall we do? Peter tells them, repent and be baptized every one of you in the name of Jesus Christ, Acts 2:38. For the remission of sins, tells you what it's for. Tells us clearly. Not amazing. He explains what it does. And you shall receive the gift of the Holy Ghost. Tells you what blessing comes. explains, because or for the promise is unto you, to your children, all that are far, even as many as the word, many as our Lord our God shall call. What a simple message. And with many other words did he exhort to encourage them, save yourself because you're lost. So he told you, you're lost from this untoward generation. Then they glad received his word, were baptized the same day, 3,000 souls added unto them. And they continued steadfast in the apostles' doctrine, the fellowship, to walk in the light as Christ is in the light. 1 John chapter 1. The breaking of bread and prayers, and the Lord, Acts 2:47, added to the church daily such as should be saved. In Acts chapter 8, the eunuch is desirous to be saved. He hears the message from Philip. He sees the water. What does hinder me to be baptized? He asks Philip. See, men ask questions when they want to be saved. Philip said, if you believe with all your heart, you may say, what? I believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. And he starts to chat, he baptized and rejoiced and began. Paul explains why such detail is needed. 1 Corinthians 12:13, for by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body. Whether Jew or Gentile, bond or free, and have all been made to drink into one Spirit. We believe that. Peter says it's saved, 1 Peter 3:21 and 22. The like figure whereunto even baptism does also not save us. Not the putting away the filth of the flesh, but the answer of a good conscience toward God by the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who's gone into heaven, angels, authorities, and powers, being made subject unto him. Who did that for him? God his Father. And what did God say? I'm going to throw down your last enemy, death. And that's why we know Jesus has not come back to resurrect nothing, because death is still here. And in addition to, he didn't say he was coming back before the last day. And so therefore we believe that and we can recognize it. The Lord tells us, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. It may not be a real jail, it be some type of physical thing that holds you back. He said, but be thou faithful unto death, because he's going to try you 10 days. See, what's the devil's goal? To make you get mad at God for the fix that you in. That's what the Lord is saying. Don't do it. Just stay faithful. Receive everlasting life. You believe that? Be baptized tonight. Listen to the message. There's a little triangle to the right under the audio. Touch that. It'll show you all the numbers of the brethren that can help you find someone to baptize you. They'll direct you. You don't have to guess at it. They will direct you. If you believe that, we suggest you do it, because you're going to die lost in these denominational churches, these false Hindu worships and all this other stuff that exists on the earth. It don't matter if the whole world rise up against us to say we're wrong. We're going to stand with it, because you got to keep your eye on Jesus, just like Elisha kept his eye on Elijah. If you need prayer, though, at this particular time, you too can come forward while together we stand and sing Heaven's Invitation. So why will you linger,
wandering from the soul of God? Hear you now the invitation. Oh, prepare to meet thy heart, careless soul.